Greetings. Welcome to another cup of conversation and food for thought with me, Nidra Simmons. I am coming on to you to say happy Tuesday. And as always, I come on giving honor and glory to Mother, Father, God, Universe. Thank you, God, for watching over us, keeping us, and blessing us. Thank you for keeping us throughout the night, protecting us, and keeping us covered under the blood, washed by the blood, protected by the blood, fully dressed, wearing the full armor of God. Continue to allow us to wear the full armor of God throughout our day into the night. Keep us fully dressed, wearing the helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, shield of faith, so of God's holy word, but of truth and shoes of peace. Continue to have your way, God, in my life, and to those that are watching, my children. Continue to keep us and bless us, order our steps, direct our path. Thank you, God, for just providing for us mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, in every way possible. Continue to have your way, God. I want to give much respect and gratitude to our big brother Jesus, archangels, guardian angels, all angels in the highest Christ like ancestors, guardian ancestors, spirit team, here and far. Thank you so much. And continue to watch over us as we travel to and from our destinations. These blessings I ask in your holy name, and purify whatever food that we need to eat as nourishment for our body. These blessings I pray in your holy name. Amen. I hope that you all are having a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for waking up early in the morning to come see about me, or to hear what thus say the Lord. God, less of me, more of you. Allow me to speak what it is that you need to speak. Allow me to say what you need me to say to your people so that they can be encouraged, uplifted, and inspired. Happy Tuesday. This is the day that the Lord has made. I rejoice and be glad. All right. All right now. Good morning to you. Good day to you. The topic of discussion I want to talk about today is a topic that is close to my heart. I represent love. I love love. So we're going to talk about love, elementary love in its rawest form. And we're going to talk about how to, that song came in my mind, teach me how to love. Show me the way to surrender my heart. Teach me how to love. That song, the verses of that song came on in my head as I was getting ready this morning. And I was thinking about myself and how I've been through situations and relationships, and they kind of, some got together in the groove, but it ain't lock in and fit and last. So that made me think, well, maybe people don't know how to love, or maybe with me, my love is different. So maybe it's too strong and they can't handle it. I'm going to think that way because I don't want to think anything else and get upset. Yes, by that person. Yes. So I said, well, let's talk about it. Because elementary love, the basic, actually, I looked up some things on the internet to see what elementary love is. And it's described as a beautiful poetic way to describe love in the most fundamental, stripped down, and uncomplicated form possible. Thank you for the hearts. And that made sense when it said elementary. When you go to school in elementary, you break down things and you make it easy for the kids to digest in the purest, smallest form, for them to digest it, soak it in, and learn from it, and then carry it on to the next grade. So I said, okay, well, elementary love, that makes sense. So I said, well, let's break that down a little bit. Let's talk about that. And when I looked at what elementary love, thank you, it said they gave me three characters of what the breakdown of elementary love is: the childhood view, the commercial view, the chemical view, and the obvious. So let's break that down, the childhood view of love. As a child growing up, I fantasized what love should be. And I'm sure I am not the only one who has fantasized of what love should be. I am so sure that there are others out there that have came to their own conclusion of what love is, or what it should look like, or how it should feel. And I looked at love as another person coming into Discussing elementary love as a pure, uncomplicated form. Share your thoughts. Okay. I looked at love. I looked at love as a person that would come and save me, like a knight in shining armor. I lived in the projects that would come and just take me out of this project life and bring me into a life of love and everything that I need and want, and don't have to struggle and don't have to, that's my fantasy way of thinking elementary love when I was young. People used to say, and I don't know, maybe it's because the way that I talk, they thought I lived in a house with a white picket fence. And I'm like, no, boo. No white picket fence in my house. Maybe outside of my house. I live in the projects. It's nothing but buildings and concrete. There is no grass. There's no white picket fence. None of that. If I look at my windows, nothing but trees because it's nothing but bushes and you know tall trees behind me. When I looked at my window as a child. Good day to you. Thank you for joining the live. So my idea of love was very fairy tale. I love watching fairy tale movies. Thank you for the hearts, much appreciated. I love watching Cinderella, all these Prince Charming and all this other stuff. I had a mindset of what love was, and it was not reality one bit. It was all my fantasy. And I think I brought that into relationships. And when I realized that I wasn't getting none of that, it was totally the opposite. It was totally opposite. It was not good. It was nothing related to my fantasy, it was nothing related to the harsh reality of other people's definition of what love is or lust. I had a very rude awakening of what love was. So it took my fantasy of what I thought love would be to a whole level that was not good. It turned my light side of love to the dark side of love. And I had to, on my own, figure out how to adjust and understand that this is not the real thing. What I constantly kept getting was not nowhere near fantasy. Nowhere near fantasy. And you know, this is not the topic to talk about that. So I'll save that for another time. This conversation is talking about elementary love. So I had to learn quickly that love was not what I thought. But did it stop me from watching all these love movies? If anything, it made me want to watch it even more so that I can kind of take myself to a place and kind of, you know, my happy place, I guess one might say. But anyway, let's bring it up to um, what is your viewpoint? What do you think, or what is your childhood view of love? What did you gather love to be as you were growing up into your teenage years? What's the topic about? The topic is about elementary love. I wanted to talk about something that's close to my heart, which is love. And I had broke down. I went and looked at what basically is elementary love. We're going to talk about elementary love, and I have this on another live titled "Elementary Love" and "Teach Me How to Love." A cup of conversation on teaching you how to love. So I hope I broke it down enough for you. But I'm asking now those that are watching if you can share your idea or your thought or what you first came to mind to think love was, like when you were growing up and you were starting to notice the opposite sex or whoever made your heart pitter patter. What is some of the thoughts, the views, the feelings, the way that you thought love should be at that point? Because we're going to gravitate from the childhood view to the chemical view to the obvious view of love. So I'm curious to know what you guys think out there about what is your childhood view of love? That's cute, the rose. I shared with you mine was fantasy. I thought it was all one thing. I looked at love as a person to come and take me out of the projects and bring me to someplace much beautiful and better than what I was living. You can. My mom was a very good parent, so I didn't have any problems with my mom raising me. It was the real world that taught me some harsh lessons at a very early age that I never told my mother about until I got older. Nobody out there got anything to share. Thank you for the hearts, much appreciated. Who is that? Let's see. I will be opening if somebody wants to come on live to talk about it, because I know it's a lot of to text. But if somebody wants to come on and talk about or share their thoughts on elementary love, childhood views, I'm open to invite you on if you want to talk about that, because I understand there's a lot to talk to text. But I am curious to know, what are some of your views on that? I don't know how to pull people up. So if you hit that thing, I'll do it. Puppy love. Mm-hmm. $100. What's that? Puppy love. That's okay. That's your childhood view of puppy love. Of love is puppy love. I can understand that. Relate to that. Thank you for the hearts. Somebody put -100. What's that? What's your meaning behind that? Can you drop me a follow? I am following. I sure can. You follow me, I'll follow you. Okay. Hello, thank you for joining the live. And thank you for the hearts, much appreciated. I want to drink that coffee while it was hot. So, well, warm enough. All right. So, yeah. So, yes, childhood view can be considered puppy love. So let's go on to the next part of it, and we'll go back and discuss this because there's other things I want to talk about too. So excuse me, the chemical view, the chemical breakdown of love. They mention dopamines, which is the desire of love, oxytocin, that's the attachment that love brings, and the serotonin, the infatuation. That's the chemical breakdown of love, the chemical view of love. I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm not a scientist, but those are the terminologies that was brought up in the breakdown of elementary love. They broke it down into 3 categories. So we talked about what we thought about the childhood view was, and the chemical view. If anybody wants to elaborate on that, feel free. I just won't because I'm not a scientist. I'm not sure about this stuff here, other than the fact that when I'm reading to you, that desire, attachment, infatuation, it's a part of love. And understanding that, and those are feelings and emotions that you go through on your level of getting into love. So, you know, that might be interesting as you are gravitating, and if you're in love with somebody, you can, compare that to what you're actually feeling. And the obvious love, which is the effortless alignment, meaning, you see someone, you love them, you feel it, you talk, you make something out of it. The talking stage moves into a get to know each other phase to relationship phase, and then you eventually, if it's in your vocabulary, married stage, and then you can enjoy life and then love one another until you don't. But all in all, elementary love is at its foundation before you overthink it. So Elementary love is that pure love that you connect with somebody before you overthink all of the different parts of love. That's before the sexual attention. That's before if you're getting involved with people and out of state meeting. It's just the purest form of love, the safest phase of love, the elementary love. Now, all that came to about with me because, like I said earlier, when I was getting ready this morning, I was reminded of how I've been in many relationships and they did not work out. So, and I'm not to say that I was the blame for everything. I probably wasn't to blame for very little, and maybe I was, depending on the person. But I came to this conclusion, and this conclusion is I love a certain way, and it's different, and sometimes it might be overpowering for the other person. I didn't see it that way. I was just being me, loving you. But I thought about it. When you look at something and you look at the amount of ways that it falls or flows, okay, well, maybe sometimes you need to look at yourself. I'm not ashamed to say if I'm wrong for anything, I'll look at myself. So I looked at myself and I kind of skimmed through my past relationships and I'm like, well, what was the problem? I didn't do anything outside the ordinary. I wasn't that person that um, begged for attention for the most part, unless she wasn't giving me no attention. But I didn't beg then either. But my conclusion is I've always tell people that I'm different and I'm not shying away from that. I'm very different. So with that, maybe, I'm a very independent woman. And I don't ask for much. Are you looking for love now? I'm not looking for anything. I tried looking and I got disappointed. I'm not looking for nothing. But if God has somebody for me, I'm open. I'm open for what God has for me, but I'm not looking. I thought that I found somebody that, because I felt something. I felt something I've never felt before. And I can hear people say maybe it was gas. I'm beginning to tell myself that maybe that's what it was. But no, it wasn't gas. It was that, it's like I got to tell people, and like I say in most of my lives, God places us in people's lives. God places us in people's lives for a reason, time, and season. Sometimes people pray to God for a particular person or a love or a feeling or something. And God grants you that. Some people. And God puts people in your life to see if you are really true about what you say. And so far, people are not ready for what they're asking for. People don't really know what they're asking for. They just want something that's different from what they had before, but they're not changing themselves in any way. They're staying the same, asking for something, and then when they get it, it's not what they want. So I guess what I'm saying is we all have to look at ourselves and change each other. I mean, change yourself, but as a group of as individuals, we need to change ourselves. I'll just leave it at that. Change ourselves before we go into another relationship. Weigh your pros and cons. What was it that you think didn't work out with this relationship that you contribute to? We could be so quick to say what the other person didn't do or not doing or did too much of, or whatever the case might be. But you still have to stop and look at yourself and see what is it that you didn't do that caused this relationship to not continue to go forward. So I came to the conclusion that maybe I always say on here, I am the rawest form of love possible. And maybe some people just ain't ready for that. I'm someone that's going to encourage you. I'm someone that's going to push you to your potential. I'm not going to hold you back. And I'm not going, and some people feel like, well, and I'm thinking of particular things that's popping my head. So I'm going to say it as it comes because people might be thinking the same thing. I know that in some of my relationships, I want to spend time with the other person, and the other person chooses to work all the time. I'm not going to stop you from working, but it's not a relationship. You can't make no time for me. So all I'm asking for, let's set a time to where we can spend some time together. You still can do what you want to do, and I can help you with what you want to do. I'm not saying that I'm smarter or more, no more than you. No, I'm simply saying if it means spending time together, I can come where you are and help you do whatever you need to do. I can, pass you something or do something as long as we're together and we're having company with one another. People make time for what they want. That's what I thought. I thought that people make time for what they want, but I realized some people, unless they really don't want you, they won't make time for you. They'll put everything in the mix to make an excuse. And then I sit there and I wonder, why would they do that? The only thing I can come up with is they're afraid. Maybe, just maybe, the person that God presented before you has caused you to feel a certain way that you're not used to. Opened you up in a way to where it made you feel scared, nervous, whatever the case might be. So instead of going on to what it is that you asked for or what God's presenting you with, you hide behind work. Tell me what you think about that. Is that something that can possibly be a reason why somebody won't make time for somebody if they're with somebody? And this is just a cup of conversation, food for thought. But I used to think that if somebody wants something, excuse me, I'm eating my breakfast in the process because I still have to start my day. But he said true. I thought that people, if you want to spend time with somebody, or if you want, you make time for them. I'm pretty sure if the male portion wants something from the female and it's sexual, they're gonna make time for that. But when the female might want to just get comfortable with that male around them and feel safe around them, and it's different. Almost like the other part can't let you get comfortable with them. Do you believe everyone deserves an opportunity to prove their sincerity? As far as in a relationship? Yeah. As far as in a relationship, yeah. Mm. Mm-mm. But now too hard on that one. Thank you for the hearts. Much appreciated. But yeah, I think that, well, this is going into the part two where I said I wanted to talk about teach me how to love. So this is the part to where you got to first understand and break down your definition of love with the other person. Because your definition of love may not be the same definition of the other person. When I love, I want to be around that person. I want to be around that person face to face. I want to be able to do things together. We don't necessarily have to go out, but I do like to go out. We ain't got to go out every night. We can go out once a month. But as long as there is time together with one another, more than just talking on the phone. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining live. For those that are just joining, we're talking about elementary love. We're talking about the breakdown of what elementary love is, what it looks like to you. And then we're going to talk about that song that came to mind, Teach Me How to Love. So I want to not break down the song. I want to break down ways to teach people how to love. Because sometimes people love hard and people have a certain type of feeling that they bring with them when they meet people, and it can scare the other person. So I'm going to kind of, and with your help out there, to just kind of break it down and how we can discuss and talk with one another and how we can get past that fear and get into the important part of love and not being afraid because it's something new to you. I know that there's some, not all, a few Can I ask you something from a spiritual perspective as a woman of... Sure, ask away. Can I ask you something from... Go ahead, ask. They went twice. And if you feel like I'm coming off or going off with something or off the topic, please bring me back. When they are sincerely trying to grow, change, and walk in God's direction, is that the rest of it? Is that all of it? Because some people are not going and walking in God's direction. Sometimes people need other people to kind of show them or see them through their actions as proof for them to catch on to know that what you believe is true. A lot of people have been hurt by the church and all of the training and teaching and stuff that the church brought out. So a lot of people turn away from that. But I always tell, especially married couples who have one mate in church and one mate out of church, I always tell that one person, keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop praying. Don't stop, spending time with God. Don't stop, praising song and spending your time in meditation and being a good steward and loving one another. Don't stop that. You are that person's view. You're that person's proof. You're that person's lifeline to grab onto so that they can come in and learn and love God as well. A lot of people stray away from it. But if they have that evidence, that proof, that real thing right there that they see that God is working through, that is what is going to bring that person to God too. So don't stop. Especially if people are like, well, I'm going to make my husband. Don't make him. Just do you. Just love God. Just continue to meditate. Sing, praise, sing around the house and put your little notes around the house. Put your little scriptures around the house. They're going to read it. They're going to read it. If they tear it down, you put it back up. They are screaming and crying out for help, but don't know how to get it. You are that vessel that God placed in their lives. If you're married with this mate and one of the other people are not in church or in believing in God, you're that example. So don't stop. And don't push the other person. Don't pressure the other person. You continue to do what you do. Continue to move in love. And I guarantee you, they're watching. They're watching. It may not happen in your time, but it's going to happen in God's timing. It took time for them to lose that feeling. It's got to take time for them to gain it back. But you're not the one in control of that. God is in that individual. I don't know if that's where I was supposed to be going with that, but I went there with that. But yeah, I mean, I needed to say that because a lot of people want to put pressure. Honestly, life has taught me much, dating and unbelievers, hoping she will repent. Honestly, life has taught me such, dating an unbeliever, hoping she will repent. Okay. I must fall out of faith because of her. Okay. You ever heard that phrase, hurt people, hurt others? I don't like that phrase. Well, I say hurt people, hurt others, but it doesn't have to stay there. Because hurt people hurt others, comma, but they learn to love themselves, comma. They learn to seek God, comma, and they learn to love everybody else and themselves first. I don't want to take that risk again. Well, you know what? As long as you seek God for guidance. I'm not going to say anything else other than that. And that's you're right for not wanting to do that again. And that's why we go through things. We go through life because we need to experience things and understand things for ourselves. Sometimes God can be knocking on our head and say, listen, get it. And sometimes we can't get it because we can't hear or we're not sure what we're hearing. So we got to go through it. And once you go through it, that's a lesson you learn. Every lesson you go through, you should learn. Get something out of every lesson. If not, you're going to repeat that lesson. So since you said you're not going to go through that again, you've learned your lesson. So you know what to look for, or you have different things that will be like a blinking light for you. So when someone comes up along that way, you can say, okay, wait, this is not what I'm looking for. And then you can bring conversation in and ask questions about, do you do this? It makes you more aware and it prepares you to get your information out. So then when you do speak to people, you got everything out there in the open, hoping that they're honest with you in the beginning. Was that helpful? Did I say anything that was helpful? It felt good coming out. But was that helpful to anybody? I don't want to feel like I'm just rambling on and just saying stuff. And most of the stuff that I say, I'm not sorry y'all. What was that? Oh, that's the skin from the grape. But yeah, was that helpful? I see the heart. Someone say yeah. But by all means, pay attention to your intuition and your discernment. I never say turn away from that. Me, I have to take that lesson too. Because sometimes, especially when you learn out and trying to step out and be bold with your intuition and your discernment, when you think that you got it enough to know that, okay, my intuition, my discernment is telling me to go this way. Sometimes you need to recheck and seek God, not seek. I've asked God, is this for me? Is this for me? Please let me know without a shadow of doubt. Is this for me? Let me know, let me know, let me know. Make it as plain. Teach me like an elementary child. So let me know that I got what it is that I'm supposed to be learning. Because there's a lot of things I do not want to repeat. I do not. I thank God for the experiences that I went through. I don't regret none of them. But do I want to repeat them? I'm good. I got that lesson. Don't need to go down that route again. I got it. But yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you for sharing that. But yeah, please don't forget to always go through my messages. God is still saying something. I will. I will. And thank you for the message you sent so far. Very inspiring. Um, I'm not affiliated with whoever's asking you to subscribe to them. This is a cup of conversation, food for thought with me, Nidra. If anybody else pulls you off of this to go to their site, that's you. You're grown. Do what you want to do. I'm not affiliated with that. I will not be sending you no videos. But yeah. Elementary love. The purest form of love before it gets complicated. I think that's the best way to describe that. It's the breakdown of love at the purest beginning form of your journey to love. So, wow. But anyway, going back to Teach Me How to Love, because I keep hearing that song. Teach me how to love. Show me. I ain't got my voice. But anyway, that song. Sometimes, sorry, y'all. So, sometimes you have some people out there, and I'm going to go back on this for a minute because I kind of find it hard to believe, but not hard to believe because I've experienced it. But me picturing a man, and men and women, they have the same makeup. They have a heart, they have feelings, they have emotions. So don't take this out of character when I say this. But I might not be the only one thinking this way. But I can see now, but partly in the beginning, I couldn't see how a man can get scared with how a woman, thank you, can cause them to open up. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm thinking a man, they know what they want, they go after it, they love, okay. They don't. But to sit there and look at the elementary of how a woman who has a light, who has a love about them, and they get in, good morning, thank you for joining the live. They get around this person and then they start to feel, I know how a female feels when, their heart starts to patter and they. But from a man's perspective, if somebody is brave enough to share that with me, but I'm in my mind trying to figure out how a man heart can be open by a woman, but then get scared because they're feeling something that they never felt before. Can somebody come on and break that down? What is that like for a man? I know what it's like for a woman, but for a man who has met a woman that has made them feel a certain way, or a way that they've never felt before. What does that look like to a man? Is that like all I can hear in my head is, ah, the bright light shining, ah? What is that like for a man? Anybody brave enough to tell me? Do y'all experience those harps playing? Am I coming out clear? It's funny to me because I can picture how a woman would be like, oh, what is that like for a man? I'm curious to know, is there a brave soul out there that can tell me what is it like when they get around a woman that brings out something in them that causes them to, I don't know. All right, I might not get nobody out here to want to tell me. Thank you for the hearts. All right, so let me bring it on to something else. I'm curious to know though, but yeah, I still want to go back to communication. Conversation is very important in every relationship, and sometimes people can talk a good game in the beginning. I know a lot of people that you can tell your whole history to. Some men just don't want to feel vulnerable to a woman. Okay. Why? If it's the woman you're trying to get with. If it's the woman you're trying to get with, why don't you want to feel vulnerable? I mean, I have answers going through my mind. Could it be that you don't want them to take your heart and run off with it? You don't want them to think that you're weak? I don't think a man is weak if they're vulnerable. The hair. What's wrong with the hair? I change up differently. I feel okay. Got you. I got you. Thank you. So for the one that says that, absolutely. When you get into a relationship with somebody and you know it's going to go up because y'all both agree to want to be with each other, y'all both agree that y'all want to connect on every level, do you shy down or do you continue on? Because I was married. I'm very transparent. I can tell you my story. And towards the end of my marriage, I think I scared him. And I'm like, but we've been together for so many years. How can I scare you? But I was always a go-getter. I always made sure we had something. But he had went through a phase in his life where he wasn't working. And it was hard for him to provide. But I've never made it. I mean, it was hard for me too. But for some reason, it looks easier for me. But at the same time, it was a struggle for me. He had more benefits because he was a man. I was in a town where all women was crazy about men. So he flourished, but I didn't. But I never let that stop me from taking care of my responsibilities. So I can see at one point where he probably got a little insecure. And then, maybe that towards me made him feel a certain kind of way. I don't know. He's not here to defend himself for me to tell you. He has passed on. But yeah, just something to think about. Something to think about. I want to, okay. But yeah, I hope I'm not straying away from what the topic is. To go back to this cup of conversation, food for thought is on elementary love and talking about teaching you how to love, teaching me how to love, discussion relationship on why men get scared or vulnerable with vulnerability. I don't think men should be afraid. I think men should, just like women put their heart out there for men, for the men or the mate, whoever they want to be with, men should do the same thing. You're not weak if you're showing love. I was scrolling through and I'll be watching some of these men up here that be trying to school the women. And they were saying, there's one particular person who was saying that, do you use fragrances? I do. I love vanilla. So if you're curious to know what I smell like, vanilla. um, but what was I gonna say? That just took me off of my um mm, I forgot what I was gonna say. But what was I gonna say? It was along the lines of ooh, 8,000. All right, thank y'all for the hearts, much appreciated. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was talking about how I was watching these guys were talking on how they were schooling the women, and they were saying that how this one guy was coming on. He was on Facebook, and he was saying how men are asking so much for these women, and they want the women to do this and be all these other things for them, and then they won't do anything for them. They won't even simply um, ask them how they're doing or whatever the case might be. You got a lot. Sure did. Thank you for joining the live. For those that are just joining on, we're talking about elementary love. And then I had labeled this a cup of conversation. It's elementary love, a cup of conversation. Teach me how to love type of segment. And I'm interested in hearing your thoughts of it. For those that are just joining, we talked about the different phases of elementary love. We talked about how elementary love is a beautiful poetic way to describe love in the most fundamental, stripped down, and uncomplicated form. And then we talked about 3 topics that I looked up that came along with that topic. And it was the childhood view of love, and the chemical view of love, and the obvious love. And I was about to talk about back when we used to write notes. Oh, that was good. Check the box. Do you like me? Yes or no? Do you want to be my girlfriend or my boyfriend? Yes or no? Or even back then where cassette tapes were in play. I had someone put a cassette tape in my locker. Secret admirer. Never knew, never said nothing until years later. I'm talking about well in my grown age, I found out who the person was. I'm like, dude, we could have been dating back then. But they didn't never. Some people still got them. Oh, you still got your notes? I ain't got none of mine. But yeah, back when you was on the telephone talking for hours in the morning, getting in trouble, trying to be quiet so that you don't wake up your mom or your dad. Well, in my case, my mom. But we were talking about how I got 2 or 3 from boot camp. Okay. We was talking about how is it hard for men to show their vulnerability? Well, not hard, but we was talking about how men don't want to show their vulnerability to women. And I'm like, well, I can understand that. But if it's 2 people trying to get together, why not show that vulnerability? Especially if y'all know that y'all going up. Y'all come together and y'all gonna go up. Women need to know that, they can communicate with your man, and they're there for their man, and they're needed by their man. I also saw an episode too. I saw this guy that was coming, that was talking. He said something that was very profound. He said that women are supposed to be strong enough to love themselves and their children, and men supposed to love, I guess, all. And the way he broke it down was, if you was on a cruise ship, they tell you who comes first, men or women. I mean, women and children go first. And he was saying, if a woman loved the man more than she loved herself and the children, then that whole family would die, or pass away. Go. I don't want to say the word for you to block me. And so it's important for a woman. The way he broke it down was interesting. I never thought of it that way, because when I love my whole family. But he was trying to break it down so that way, from that standpoint, a woman and a child would be able to blow a kiss to their husband, give a hug, and then go and survive, so that she can continue to grow and protect that family to go forward. But anyway, that just came to mind because it was interesting. I don't know if anybody saw that segment or understood or feels the same way. If you do, please share. But anyway, go back to what we're talking about. Elementary love. You have a wonderful day too. Thank you. And thank you for joining the live. Much appreciated. But yeah, that was something that I had saw in my past, and I thought that was interesting. I've never heard the situation that way before. But we also talked about how God can place people in people's lives, whether it be a man or a woman, and they can pray to God for a particular love, a particular relationship, or something different than what they had. And then when they get it, they fumble it. They don't know, they really don't want what they're asking for. And then I was saying, if people are in relationships and they're asking God to send them somebody more of what they want, they have to be willing to change themselves too. Look at yourself and see what it is that you have not been fulfilling in that relationship with the person that you want to get away from to get someone else. Work on you. Use your discernment and your intuition and ask God to tell you what it is that you have to improve in yourself. So that way, when you do get what God sends you, you can appreciate it and you guys can go together and flourish. I have been in situations where I feel God has sit me in because they asked. And the reason being, these people were not my typical type of people that I would be involved with. So I believe God placed me in these people's lives because they asked for someone like me or something that I carry to help them or to be with them. And when they get it, they don't know how to respond to it. And then I thought about myself and how, I'm never saying that I'm perfect. I'm flawed just like everybody else. But I try to strive to be the best person that I can be. And when I'm in a relationship, I'm devoted and I love hard. I'm going to push you to your fullest potential. I'm not going to come into your life and make you feel weak. If I come into your life, you're going to flourish. We're going to flourish together. That's the goal. But it ended up happening that they leave me by the wayside and then they flourish. They like the feeling of moving on and things happen for them that they can care less about me. That's what it seems like from my standpoint in these relationships when I get into it. So sometimes I just have to pull away. And when I pull away, if they're not flourishing like they used to, that's how I know it was me that was helping them flourish to go. And I'm not saying me as a person. I'm saying me as a spirit being, me as a vessel of God, me as a woman of God, and what I carry changes. Uh-oh, the heart stopped. Did I say something that offended somebody? But thank you for the heart. It's much appreciated. Sorry, that's what I use for affirmation to let me know that I'm reaching somebody. But if your thumbs are tired, I understand. But yeah. So that's how I feel on certain things, because I don't think that I'm a very complicated person. No, I don't got jokes. I don't think I'm a complicated person. I think that I'm a very down to earth person. What you see is what you get. Y'all can tell me, do I seem like I'm down to earth? Do I seem like I got a chip on my shoulder? Do I seem like I'm too was bougie? I mean, I think I'm a very down to earth individual. I love communication, conversation. I think that's important. I think that's a way of healing in our bodies. That's how we heal one another, through communication. I don't think that we should be in a relationship going forward and there's no discussion, there's no talking, there's no nothing. That's craziness. Been there, done that. But the t-shirt, the hat, the belt, the shoes, the pants, and the socks. I took all those things off, put it in a trash can, lit it, and got rid of it because I don't need that anymore. I your communication is great. Thank you. I appreciate that. So just the communication. But I appreciate that. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that because I ain't got nothing else to add to that. But time flies when you're having fun. We've been on for about 50 minutes. So hey, how are you? So I hope that this cup of conversation and food for thought on elementary love has been helpful. I hope that there were some ways or even a nugget of something that I have said that can lean you towards teaching you how to love. To each his own. You're going to love the way you love you, your own individual. I'm not telling you anything or what to do or how to do it. Just giving you a different perspective on how to see things. Excuse me, so that you can get a better understanding of how you see things. So when you make a decision or choice, you got a now wider view of how to make your decision, because it's not just like one way, one-minded. I come on to encourage, uplift, and inspire. And I hope that's what I did today on this segment of A Cup of Conversation and Food for Thought with me, Nidra. But yeah, I really enjoyed all of you that contribute to the conversation, all of the, thank you very much, compliments, all of the questions, all of the feedback, all of the nuggets and knowledge that you contribute to through this, as you always. Thank you. I appreciate all of that you have contributed during this cup of conversation and food for thought. Your contributions make contributions, make this fun, make it more inviting, makes it more worth getting up in the morning to do. So I appreciate all of you all who gets up early in the morning, because it's 6:08 now in the morning, and I really appreciate all of you who do that. I told somebody asked me, why do I go to bed early? I said, because I get up early. And they said, well, that's your fault. Yeah, I choose to. I'm okay with that. Because I got such wonderful guest people that contribute to make this worthwhile. So thank all of you who make me want to go to bed early so I can get up in the morning. Sure thing. So that we can continue this cup of conversation and food for thought. I still got a few more minutes before that 1 hour mark hits. So if by chance you guys have discussions, topics that you want to discuss or want me to look into so we can have as a discussion, feel free to DM me and put those topics in there. Or you can come and put these topics on live. And that one didn't taste too hot. And then we'll come back and talk about it. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, as always. Remember, it's Tuesday, so happy Tuesday to you. Stay in character. Don't let anyone take you out of character. Learn to pre-act and not react. Trust your discernment, trust your intuition. When it tells you to close your mouth, close your mouth. When it tells you to walk away, walk away. And breathe. Always breathe, y'all. Practice your breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. Peace, be still. Breathe in, breathe out. Joy comes in the morning. At 6:10, joy is here. I receive it. Excuse me. Breathe in, breathe out. To God be the glory. And then keep it moving. We don't have to be in the middle of gossip. If gossip comes your way, walk away. Or turn your head, like they say, don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact to the person that you know love the gossip. You see him coming, turn your head. Maybe they'll walk away. And if they don't, because they know that you want to be the one, you're going to listen to them, then excuse yourself. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom or something. Walk away. I'm speaking to myself as well as you all out there. Let them have that for themselves. And you can be that example to teach them to stop gossiping. If you're not going to be the ear to hear, they're going to want somebody to talk to. God's timing is always worth the wait. That's right. That's right. So, yeah. Drink your water. Stay hydrated, especially in this crazy weather. It's cold one minute, hot the next. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated, y'all. Eat juicy fruits. Drink plenty of water. Be careful of the fruits, though, with the sugar intake. Be careful with that. Talking to myself as well. I'm talking to y'all. But juicy fruits, water, they keep you hydrated. And, take care of you. Love yourself. You're not selfish for loving yourself. Love yourself. Love first. First and foremost, God, always in my heart. So it's included when I say love myself. When you love yourself, you're loving God because God created you. God created that vessel that you're living in. God is a spirit, which you are a spirit that's housed in this house. And in me, God is in me. And my heart and God is like that. So love yourself. Take care of you the best way that you know how. Then you can take care of others. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end this now. So remember, God loves you. I love you. You love you. Till next time. Peace. Thank you all again. All right. Peace. How do I stop this?